I was born in Germany, in Bavaria, the oldest of 9 children, and my father and mother were both very religious, and God was always first in our considerations. My father was very much anti-Nazi. He was actually imprisoned by the Germans for a short time because of his anti-Nazi feelings. After the war, he was anxious to get out of Germany because he was afraid that the Russians would take over and the communism would come. So we emigrated actually in 1949. I was lucky enough to get a partial scholarship to Nazareth College. And then by the end of my senior year, I knew I wanted to be a Sister of St. Joseph. And it was really the influence of the sisters there that I observed. I didn't know them beforehand because we didn't have them in Germany. And Sister Maria Kellner, who was my major professor, I studied chemistry was my major, and she helped me. The first snowstorm we had, I just had regular shoes. I didn't have any boots. And she said, "Give me your shoes." She put them in the drying oven to get them dry. Then she went over to the convent, got a pair of slippers for me to wear for the day. And then she went to the dean, telling about the plight that I didn't have any boots. So she gave me told me to go to this certain shoe store and buy a pair of boots, and the money would be taken care of by the college. So it was just the spirit, the way they were, kind and understanding, and wouldn't make a big fuss about it. I just liked the sisters, and I remember even after the year when I was working at Strong Memorial Hospital in the research lab, when I saw sisters on the street, I got all excited, waving to them, whether I knew them or not. I just knew that was going to be my future. I had no idea what I was going to be doing. That wasn't important at all. I just wanted to be a sister, and I'd do whatever they would ask me to do, and that's how it happened that I became a teacher, because I had not taken any education courses at all. I did that the reverse order. I did that later after I taught for 12 years. I really loved teaching, and I just loved the kids, If they were in my class, I loved them, that's all, and you just did the best you could for them. I remember one time the principal came to observe me, as part of her job, and she had so much fun in the class, she was raising her hands. I had pain in my upper left arm, and so I went to the doctor for that, And it was very hard in the sense that I had all these tests. They all came back negative, nothing wrong, as if I were a hypochondriac, And it was really a relief when finally in the 80s, the MRIs came in, and I had my first MRI, and it definitely was MS, I cried a few nights, I can tell you that, when knowing that I had that, because the people I had seen, they were eventually in a wheelchair, and it was a little scary, but I tried to talk to the Lord about it, and I know He doesn't allow more than what you can take. My mother taught me that. She always used to say, the Lord never asks more than what you can take with His grace. We used to have big garage sales, and one of them, they had a table with cameras, and I saw one there that was a good one I knew. I didn't know what was wrong with it, so it was only $3. So I thought, well, I'll take my chances on it. It turned out to be wonderful to take close-ups, and I always wanted to take close-ups of flowers. That was one of my aims in life, and that this camera did a good job. So I asked the sister who was in charge of the craft store, if I made cards with my photos, if she would be willing to sell them in the craft store, and that's what I have done always, and then she would pay me for the materials, I love baking, and I do that for the sisters. Whenever anybody has a birthday in my group, there are 20 of them, and I love to knit. I've made a beautiful Afghan just recently. Then I do visiting of the sisters in the East Wing. I always bless them, and then I stay at the bedside for, quite a good time with the sisters who are dying. And we have one dying right now, and I think she's waiting to go to God. Even if they're not conscious, so they say that the hearing is the last thing to go, and so give them thoughts that would unite them with God. It's really where heaven and earth meet, because the person, all of a sudden, God is coming for them, so God is there in that moment and going from this life to the new life.